Hi, I'm Randal Snyder in the biology department and also work with the Great Lakes Center. And this is Megan Denton. And we're working on a project with alewives, a small fish that are native to the Atlantic coast and also the Great Lakes region. And they're small fish, so people don't fish for them, but they're very important because they provide food for salmon and trout as well as other fish in the Great Lakes. So our research involves factors that influence the growth and the health of alewives. And right now we're in the process of measuring and weighing the fish. We've been giving them the same amount of food every day for 2 months, and now what we're looking at is how different populations of alewives from the Atlantic coast and the Great Lakes differ in terms of their growth. So today we're sedating the fish, calming them down, finally putting them to sleep just temporarily so we can weigh and measure them, and then returning them to their tanks.
So what is this you're putting in?
Okay, so this is the most common fish anesthetic. It's MS-222, and it's used a lot because it's safe, it's fast-acting, and we might be able to see this, but the fish can recover in just almost just a minute or two after going completely unconscious. So if the fish are handled carefully and you're careful not to overdose them, they recover very well. So it allows you to measure the growth of the fish and examine the fish in a safe way. So we've just put in a dose that is really a sedation dose. So this will slow them down. If you try to handle the fish without any sedation at all, they hurt themselves. They'll swim quickly against the sides of the tank and things like this. So we sedate them a little bit, and once the sedative starts to have an effect, they'll start to not school very closely, and they won't be swimming away from the scrubber or anything like that. So it usually takes a minute or two for it to start to affect the fish. So they're slowing down a little bit, so I'm going to take a few of the fish out. So these are fish that don't like to be netted, so instead of netting them, what we do is we just scoop them into a bucket like this. And this way they don't lose any scales and they survive the procedure in much better shape. So now I'm transferring them to a container that has a higher dose of the anesthetic, and within just a minute or so this will put them unconscious, so we can go ahead and measure them. So to try to prevent them from losing scales, we keep them on a wet towel, and then again we don't use nets with them, because one of the problems with these fish is they lose their scales so easily. So we found handling them like this works pretty well. 11.3, 10.0. So even though they're almost completely unconscious when they're in here for just a minute or two, we'll see in a second, they'll wake up that quickly.